A glass tank contains some water. The length QR and the width RS of the tank are known. This is the length QR and this is RS. This is known. What other distance needs to be measured in order to be able to calculate the volume of the water? If we want to calculate the volume of water, we should know. So in order to calculate the volume of water, we need to know the three sides of the cuboid. This is a form of cuboid, QR, RS, and the height of the cuboid. So this will be ST. The height is ST. Okay. QR is known, RS is known, and the third length will be ST, the height of the water. Then the multiplication of three sides will give you the volume of the water. So option A is right. Now a stopwatch is used to time a race. The diagram show the watch at the start and at the end of the race. So this clock shows you time 0.5 second. You can see this is in the middle of the block. And here this is showing you 45, 46, 46.5, 46.5 seconds. So the time difference 46.5 minus 0.5, this is 46.0. 46 second is the right answer. Option B is the correct one. The diagram shows a speed time graph for a body moving with constant acceleration. What is represented by the shaded area under the graph? We know that the shaded area in speed time graph represents the distance. So the option B is right. A tunnel has a length of 50 km. Our car takes 20 minutes to travel between the two ends of the tunnel. What is the average speed of the car? So speed is the total distance divided by total time or time taken. Total distance is 50 km and time taken is 20 minutes. So we have to first convert minute in hour because we can see here the unit is kilometer per hour. As we know, 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. So 20 minute is equal to 20 divided by 60 hour. Okay. So this is equal to 1 by 3 hour. Now if you take 1 by 3 hour in denominator as time, then this will be equal to 50 times 3, which is 150 hour. 150. So this is equal to 150 kilometer per hour. Okay. Option C is right. Which statement is correct? Mass is a force measured in kilograms. No, mass is not force. Mass is a force measured in newtons. No, mass is not force. Mass is the intrinsic property of matter. Weight is a force measured in kilogram. Weight is a force. This is right. But the unit of force is Newton. So weight is a force measured in Newton. Option D is right. Three children, X, Y, and Z, are using a seesaw to compare their lengths. Which line in the table shows the correct order of the children's weight? So here you can see that Y is greater than X because mass is going down here. Here weight is more. Similarly, here Y is greater than Z because Y weight is more as compared to Z. Here you can see X is greater than Z. Okay. So Y is greater than X is greater than Z, and Y is greater than Z. So heaviest will be Y because if you compare X and Z, it is X which is greater. And if you compare Y and Z, it is Y which is greater. And if you compare Y and X, it is Y which is greater. So Y is the heaviest. Now between X and Z, X is the heaviest. So the order is Y, X, and Z. Option C is right. Question number 7. What apparatus is needed to determine the density of a regularly shaped block? We need a balance. Since it is a regularly shaped block, we need a balance and a ruler. You have to calculate density here. Density, the formula for calculating density is mass divided by volume. Mass you can measure with balance. And it is a regularly shaped volume. So you can measure the length of the block using ruler. And then you can apply the formula, whatever is suited for the block or the shape given. So option A is right. A balance and a ruler. A spring is suspended from a stand, loads are added and the extensions are measured. And this is a diagram for load. This is a spring. Here you can see no load is there. And this is a stand, this is a rule. Which graph shows the result of plotting extension against load? So we know that from Hooke's law, F is proportional to X extension. So there will be a linear graph sloping up and the line should be straight. And important thing is line should start from origin. If there is no load, if F is 0, then extension should be 0. So it should start from origin. So option D is right. A student uses a stand and a clamp to hold a flask of liquid. Which diagram shows the most stable arrangement? Here you can see the load is totally toward one side of the stand. Here the load is at one end of the stand. Here also the load is shifting toward one end of the stand. Here only in option B it is a most stable arrangement. What is the source of energy converted by a hydroelectric power station? It's a boiling water. It's a very obvious answer. It's a hydroelectric power. A laborer on a building site lifts heavy concrete blocks onto a lorry. Lighter blocks are now lifted the same distance in the same time. What happens to the work done in lifting each block and the power exerted by the laborer? Work done is equal to force times distance. Now the displacement is the same. For heavy and for lighter blocks, displacement is same. So obviously lighter block would be required less effort, less work. So work done in lifting each block decreases. Now the power. Power is equal to work done divided by time. So since time is also constant, now power is proportional to work done. You can see. So work done decreases and the power also decreases. Option A is the correct one here. The diagram shows an instrument used to measure gas pressure. What is the instrument called? It is a manometer. The diagrams show two divers swimming in the sea and two divers swimming in fresh water. Seawater is more dense than fresh water. On which divers is there the greatest pressure? So here we know that the pressure is, what is the formula? Pressure is rho GH, where rho is the density of the water, G is the gravitational constant, 9.8 meter per second square, H is the depth. And we can see the density of sea water is more as compared to fresh water, and depth of B is more from the surface of the water. So B is the right answer. The pressure, greatest pressure will be experienced by diver B. When water evaporates, a molecule escape. Which molecule escape? It's a very obvious answer. I hope you have done all exercise and you know the definition of evaporation, boiling, and all the process. Option D is right. The molecule at the surface with more energy than others. They will evaporate. metal boxes containing air are standing in a room. Box X is on top of heater, box Y is on a bench. The boxes are left for a long time. Which line in the table best describes the average speed of the molecule in the container? Understand that average speed will be related to the temperature of the molecules. Higher temperature means higher kinetic energy or average speed. Here, the X is placed on a heater. So X will have fast energy because its temperature will be more as compared to Y. And obviously, the box Y will have slow. So option B is right. The top of the mercury thread in a mercury in glass thermometer reads point X at 0 degrees centigrade, at point Z is 100 degrees centigrade. Where might it be at a temperature below the ice point? So we know that 0 degrees centigrade is the ice point X, and the right answer is W, point W. The same quantity of heat energy is applied to four different blocks. The temperature rise produced is shown on each block. Which block has the highest thermal capacity? They have a different heat capacity, means the capacity of releasing energy or the capacity of storing energy is the heat capacity, and it is defined as heat capacity. So heat capacity is delta Q by delta T, where delta Q is the change in the thermal energy and delta T is the change in the temperature, and this is equal to heat capacity. So formula, we can see with formula, then delta T is less, means change, less change in temperature, more heat capacity, because delta Q is fixed here, same amount of heat energy. Now for block A, the change in temperature is least. If you see here, it is only 3 degrees centigrade. The temperature rise is, for B, the temperature rise is 6. For C, it is 9 degrees centigrade. For D, it is 18 degrees centigrade. So change in temperature is least in A. Option A is right. It has highest thermal capacity. Now, a person holds a glass beaker in one hand and fills it quickly with hot water. It takes several seconds before his hand starts to feel the heat. Why is there this delay? Because we know that glass is a poor conductor of heat, so it will take time to transfer heat from the water to the person's hands. The diagram shows a heater used to heat a tank of cold water. What is the main process by which heat moves through the water? And the answer is convection. Answer B is right. In water, the main process by which heat moves will be convection. So option D is right. What causes refraction when light travels from air into glass? So we know that change in speed is a reason for refraction to be happened. Option D is right. The speed of the light changes when it travels from one medium to other medium. A woman tunes her radio to a station broadcasting on 200 meter. What does the 200 meter tell her about the radio waves? It is the wavelength. The wavelength of the radio wave is given as 200 meter. This indicates the distance between two consecutive points in the wave that are in the same phase. Means if you plot a wave, so this is the lambda, peak to peak distance, here and here. Means wavelength is the distance between the consecutive point in the waves that are in the same phase. Option D is right.